Hey guys, Terry here with the Forest Farm Project. Today I'm going to show you how we're going to drain water around this foundation. We're about ready to dig out for the footers. We don't want a bunch of water in here, and we got about a week of rain coming. So unfortunately starting tonight, maybe tomorrow, and it may rain, it may not. You never know, but there's a good chance of it. Well, our property has about a 1 foot in every 30 foot drop roughly in the area where we're building our houses. So we want to get this rainwater. It's going to be coming towards me, straight towards this foundation. We pretty much went straight in line with the lay of the land. So we need to dig a trench, starting a little high on this hillside, and make our way downhill and around the back corner of where the garage is going to be here. And once we get past that, a little ways onto that hill, everything slopes that way and that way, so the water will go away. But we do need to get a little trench here just to be on the safe side. We don't want a waterfall running across the end of that wall of dirt right there. So let's set this tractor up to do what we want to do. And this will be the first time we've ever done this, so it's an experiment. We're learning just like you. All right, we want to dig on this side of the box blade only. We want to cut a sawtooth wedge in that hillside and going down around. If we started on the high side, it'd really be hard to get that box to go down in the hill while you're up higher. If we're down here and we tilt the box like this, it's going to dig. In order to get this side lower than this side, we just loosen that turnbuckle right there, and it allows this side of the box to drop. This side's adjustable. You can raise it up or down. The left side is stationary. It stays constant. So if you wanted the left side low, you'd have to raise the right side high. If you want the right side low, you have to lower it. So that's what we're going to do. But first, when we do lower this box, we don't want this side of this box blade to hit the ground. We don't want a great big ripped out trough. We just want an area, and we're not sure what's going to happen here because we've never done this. We prefer, a little area that's kind of sunk down in the ground, so when the rainwater comes down the hill, it'll drop in that little trough and run around the end. But what we need to know is, when does this box hit the ground? A lot of people think that when you adjust your box down, there's 1 through 8 positions on this box as far as the positions on the tractor. 1 is not ground level. 1 is below the tires so that you can dig deep. So somewhere between 1 and 8 is ground level, and we're setting pretty level, so let's check that ground level. And even though the tractor's not running, I can release the hydraulic pressure, and as I go to these different numbers, it's going to drop to whatever number that we're on. So we're going to bring this thing down. That's like getting around 7, 6, 5. We're getting really close. How close are we getting on the backside, Brian?
You're about 1.5 inches.
Go a little bit farther.
Oh.
We're close?
On the top end.
Okay, so we're on 5. On the top of my knob there, 5 is touching. So we probably want to stay just above 5. That way this side of the box would never hit the ground, just that side. Obviously we might have some odd contour and it will drag, but we want to keep it from causing any major divots. We want this corner in the ground, making that trough. So now we know that 5's the lowest level. Now I'm going to raise it back up a little bit, and we want to cut down maybe 3 or 4 inches. I'm not sure. So we want this 3 or 4 inches lower than that. So now to get that accomplished, again, this is the first time I've ever set this up to dig at an angle. We're going to raise this up until it's about 4 inches above the ground, and then loosen that turnbuckle until this one's just about touching the ground. That should accomplish our mission. We'll see. All right, now that's roughly what we want, and we've loosened, turned these 2 teeth down because we want to dig on this side. We left these 2 up. We don't want any digging action going on there at all. And when we tilt this box, this one will be lower than this one. It should work out and get what we want. So I've already loosened, or Brian loosened this up a few minutes ago. Now I'm going to turn it and let this thing drop, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully I don't turn it off of here. I don't know where the limits are on it. And you want to see how that's dropping, Brian? Show them.
Yep.
How's it looking?
Looking good.
I have no clue if this is going to accomplish what we want. All I know is we're going to give it a shot.
You're about 3/4 of an inch above the ground.
All right.
And you are touching.
Okay. I'm going to take this nut and spin it down here. try and hold this thing in position. We can see where we were originally, so we'll run it back to there when we get done, and hopefully we'll be back close to level like we were originally. Run that down there, and obviously I can only hold that nut so tight, but I got a big handle here for leverage, so I'm going to tighten that back into that nut, and that should keep things locked down. It should stay there. Now let's see what it does. All right, guys, we started to try this out. We just realized we've got to make this a little more aggressive. The box is sitting kind of flat. We need to tip it so that those teeth get into the ground ahead of this blade. Right now it's pretty level. So we need to turn this and pull it towards the tractor. If we pull the top towards the tractor, it's lifting the back up, which is essentially making the teeth stay lower because the back comes up higher. So we need to loosen this nut, move it up some. If you turn this a 1/2 inch, you got 2 screws, you're moving it 1 inch. Here, what it does out there, I can't guarantee you. So we're going to put that about around 3/4 of an inch to see what happens here. I have these that are hydraulic. That would be nice. We don't have one yet. Maybe somebody will send us one because they love us so much.
Yeah, good luck with that.
This should make it get a little more aggressive. That ought to be good. Let's see what happens. Okay. All right, guys, well, we got the trough in there. That Everything Attachments box blade does the trick. It really digs great. Very pleased with it. So on video it probably doesn't show, but down through here, that is a little bit of a mound. Not much, but it goes up just a little bit. So we had to get a little deeper over there. So we made a couple extra runs there. It's definitely higher here That's the high side of the hill, so the water's going to come down here into that trough. This is higher than the lowest point of the trough, so it will run that way. But if that hill was higher, then it could flood over this. So we want to make sure that this high point is higher than that low point, significantly enough that the water's going to keep on going around that corner. Once we get past that point, we're good. So Brian set this up, and that is definitely higher than what we set up down here. So we're good there. That's good. It's pretty much the same level down through here.
The slow beep means we're getting out of spec.
Yep, but anytime we beep them, we're good. I mean, we're within less than an inch, you know. And here's a crucial point. And it's actually, even though it looks higher, there's optical illusions. There's a hump here, so it makes this appear higher, and it's not. It's obviously beeping, so the low side of our trough is almost level all the way down through here. It's a little bit higher here, but not significantly enough. See, we're way up high here. I'd have to drop several inches, so the water's going to stay in that trough, go right down that hill where we want it. Not a huge deal, and we don't get a lot of water coming down this hill, but if we had 5 days of steady rain, it could make a muddy mess down there. We'd like to keep as much mud out of there as possible. So that's it. We got it, and I think it's going to work. If I have one suggestion, if you're going to do a homestead or any project like this and you plan on doing your own work, buy the tractor the first day. Don't wait 2 years like we did. We cut trees, loaded them in the back of my F-150, drove down through these woods and dumped in our boneyard, as we call it. We got a bunch of trees dumped back there. And we drug things by hand. We lifted things by hand. We were getting big old logs, both of us, and putting them in the back of the truck. If we'd have had that tractor and some forks or one of those grapples, that stuff would have been out of here, and we would be way further along. It would have been so much easier. Buy that tractor, don't wait. If you ever plan on buying one, just get it first day. So anyway, catch you next time.